is the NBA on NBC. The 1992 NBA playoffs. Tonight, it's the Chicago Bulls versus the New York Knicks.
The last time a Knicks playoff series captured New York's imagination this way, you'd have to go back to perhaps their last championship in '70. Conference finals before losing to the Celtics. The names on the program then included Walt Frazier, Dave DeBusschere, Bill Bradley, Earl of Pearl Monroe, and Phil Jackson playing for Red Holzman. Jackson now in pursuit of his second consecutive world championship as the coach of the Chicago Bulls, and he's well aware if he can win tonight, it's likely that he has a stranglehold on the series. Hi, everybody. I'm Bob Costas. Welcome to Madison Square Garden and part 3 of an NBA tripleheader today and this evening on NBC. For Pat Riley's Knicks, it's very clear and simple. If they don't win tonight, it's likely that their next game at Madison Square Garden will be next season, because the Bulls would be up 3-1 and heading back to Chicago for Game 5 on Tuesday night. I alluded to Phil Jackson being a member of the 73-74 New York Knicks, those teams of the mid-70s coached by Red Holzman. Their voice was Marv Albert, but come to think of it, he was probably also the Knicks' voice in the days of Sweetwater Clifton, looking remarkably well-preserved. Here he is with the czar of the telestrator, Mike Fratello. Call it, guys.
All right, Bob, I believe Sweetwater did precede me by a few years, although the Czar, I'm told, did coach Sweetwater Clifton in his earlier days. But, Mike, the Bulls are certainly series. It was the combination of Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. Not in evidence over the first 3 games of this series.
No question yesterday, dynamic duo for Chicago, got it done. If we go back to Game 1, however, it was New York's bench that was the difference. In Game 2, the Chicago bench the difference. In Game 3, both benches 14 points. So it reverted back to the starters. New York, 1 All-Star, Patrick Ewing, has carried them all year. Chicago, 2 All-Stars, and that was the difference. Pippen and Jordan combined for 58 points, 14 rebounds, and made all the big plays down the stretch for the Bulls. So, again, they carried them when needed.
All right, among the Knicks problems in Game 3 yesterday, the poor touch from outside, very bad perimeter shooting, plus horrendous free throw shooting, and these problems that carried right throughout the regular season.
Well, it's been no secret. If the ball goes into Ewing and you collapse on him, then somebody has to make shots from the outside. 30% from the perimeter is not going to get it done for the New York Knicks. Someone else has to knock down shots. Now, free throw shooting, well, they've been bad all year. 24th in the NBA for the regular season. They missed 11 yesterday, but it happens to a lot of teams. Game 2, the Bulls, they shot only 59% from the free throw line. It's not like they want to miss free throws. It just happens sometimes.
All right, once again, this crowd appears to be ready. And when we come back, it will be Game 4 of what has been sellout crowd at Madison Square Garden in New York. Here are the starting lineups. First for the Chicago Bulls, John Paxson and Michael Jordan in the backcourt. Jordan with 32 points. Yesterday, Horace Grant, Scottie Pippen at the forward positions. Pippen bouncing back with 26 in Game 3. And Bill Cartwright starting at center. The coach of the Bulls, Phil Jackson, played 13 years in the NBA, 11 as a member of the New York Knicks. Mark Jackson, Gerald Wilkins comprise the Knicks backcourt. Up front, Charles Oakley. And the X-Man, Xavier McDaniel, has had an excellent playoff series. And Patrick Ewing, who had 27 yesterday, hitting 12 for 22, came on very late. And there's Pat Riley, a man who won 4 championships as a member, I should say, as coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. And there is a mini controversy brewing between these two clubs. For more on that, here's Ahmad Rashad.
All right, Marv, there is a mini controversy, and it surrounds Greg Anthony. Michael Jordan told me that he figured that Greg Anthony didn't know about the protocol in the NBA, that you must respect the veterans. Scottie Pippen said when you talk a lot of trash, you at least have to be able to back it up, and when you've only been in the league shortly, you can't back it up. So I guess I talked to Greg Anthony. He said they started it. So I guess we'll find out today, Marv, who will finish it.
All right, Ahmad, yes, there has been an exchange of trash talking between Greg Anthony and several members of the Chicago Bulls. The officials, Dick Bavetta, Bill Oakes, and Bernie Fryer. And we're set for Game 4. Patrick Ewing and Bill Cartwright. So the New York Knicks control the opening tip. Mark Jackson being played by John Paxson. Ewing drawing the double team and hit from behind as Jordan came over to help out.
But Patrick Ewing was determined that he was going to have a strong first move to the basket and try to either score early or pick up a foul on someone, and I'm sure he's not disappointed that the foul happens to be on Michael Jordan.
And the Knicks only 11 of 22 from the free throw line yesterday afternoon. Patrick Ewing with the 27 yesterday and did most of his damage in the second half, but was not getting the ball in the final minutes. In fact, his only shot in the last 3 minutes and 10 seconds was a desperation three-point attempt in the final seconds.
Well, there's two sides to that. One is, you know, he's the main guy in another misthrow there, but a lane violation called by Dick Bavetta. The other side, one side of it is, you know, he's the go-to guy. You know that that's the guy that's got to do it for the Knicks. The other side of it is, Chicago has a terrific defense, and they're concentrating on taking that away from him. So, therefore, the need for someone else to step up.
For the game about the poor Knick free throw shooting, and he's seen it right throughout the season. And you know, Mike, because you have certainly experienced it as a coach of the Atlanta Hawks, there's very little you can do about it. In this case, the Knicks are not a good foul shooting team.
One of the most often asked questions to coaches, if you have a poor free throw shooting team, what do? It's like, you know, the coaches try new drills and they bring in specialists to help work with them. You know, you need to go out and get better free throw shooters in the offseason.
Good pressure on Pippen, and his shot went way off. Mark Jackson still bothered by the bruised thighs, although says he's feeling better. Another foul on the Bulls. Cartwright called.
And that was an obvious one. You had to call it. Was that a tic-tac foul? No, it was enough to make Ewing drop the basketball. If they lose possession, then it's going to be a late whistle, so a good call that time right away.
Correction, it's Paxson called for the foul. Now Ewing gave it up to Jackson. Ewing from deep. McDaniel able to come away with it. So the Knicks lead 3-0.
New York just got out of their respective spots on the floor. That's how Ewing wound up at the top of the circle, standing next to a teammate. Not by design, but it happens occasionally.
Chant of defense. Here's Jordan. He was pushed by Wilkins. Michael Jordan will go to the foul line.
Sometimes things just happen to work your way. That time, the little touch right there deflected the ball by Oakley right into McDaniel's hands. A little thank you on the way down for the 2 points by X-Man to his teammate, Charles Oakley.
The Knicks 3 and the Bulls 1. The Chicago Bulls have been able to overcome the pounding that they have taken from the New York Knicks. Yesterday, Scottie Pippen with the Band-Aid on his chin. John Paxson wore a patch on the back of his left arm, and Michael Jordan needed a cotton ball in one of his nostrils to stop the bleeding.
Well, Mike Saunders, the trainer for the Knicks, a little upset that I was giving his counterpart, Chip Schaefer, a little too much airtime yesterday. I said, Mike, none of you guys got cut yesterday.
McDaniel providing a 5-2 Knick lead.
Decision time. Do you attack and try to score against pressure, or do you pull it back out and run your half-court offense? I think you have to take advantage of the situation when they present themselves, particularly against Chicago, whose defense is so good against half-court offense.
And Pippen had it knocked away by McDaniel. Foul called on Paxson. So John Paxson picks up a quick 2. But a good foul because the Knicks were on the run.
And since it's in the backcourt, Dick Bavetta will not award any free throws. If it was in the front court, he could have called it a clear path to the basket, perhaps. So instead, by calling it in the backcourt, they just get the ball out of bounds.
And Paxson sits down.
Right there's the foul before the half-court line.
B.J. Armstrong has checked in. B.J. had the good game off the bench in Chicago in game number 2. Xavier McDaniel took the hit. Scottie Pippen called for his first.
Well, Jordan and Pippen combined yesterday for a total of 58 points and 14 rebounds already. Both of them have picked up one personal foul. The good ball up fake that time by X-Man to put the foul on Scottie Pippen.
Xavier McDaniel in his 7th year out of Wichita State. Led the nation in scoring and rebounding back in 84, 85. Came over from the Phoenix Suns, had an erratic regular season, but has come on strong in the playoffs. First against Detroit in the series won by the Knicks in 5, and here against the Bulls.
And Scottie Pippen did play 41 minutes yesterday on that ankle before fouling out with his 6th personal.
McDaniel with 6 of the Knicks' 7 points. Ewing jumping out to help, leaving Cartwright open. McDaniel knocks it away. Phil Jackson looking for a foul. Armstrong for Cartwright, and he is clobbered. But apparently a technical foul has been called on Phil Jackson, who has been unhappy about the calls here in the early going. McDaniel is called for the personal, which sent Cartwright to the floor, but Mark Jackson will shoot the technical that was called on Phil Jackson.
Well, Billy Oates, the official who called the foul on Phil Jackson, waited for the play to stop. He did not want to penalize the offensive team and call it while they were in the process of trying to score. He waited, then after the fact, called the technical foul. Phil acts as if he didn't expect it, but he knew all along that that's what he was after from the beginning. He chased the official down, went after him hard. He's trying to establish right in the beginning of this game, we want our share of calls, anticipating that this is going to be a very physical game, that there will be a lot of contact by the Knicks against his Chicago Bulls.
Yes, the New York State Athletic Commission has ruled the bell will save the player except in the final round, as Cartwright is sent to the canvas. The Knicks with an 8-4 lead. Pressure off the inbounds. The Chicago pressure bothered the Knicks back in game 2. Ewing, yes. So the Knicks lead by the score of 10-4.
Now, by attacking, that's about as good a shot as Ewing gets any other time in the half-court offense. And if you can wind up with the right people taking the shot down at that end of the floor for New York, then you must attack. That's what they want to do.
Here's Grant getting inside. Nice pass from Cartwright. The Knicks 10 and the Bulls 6.
One of the things that Chicago will put up with is a first quarter of up-and-down action. That's in their favor. That's their tempo. It gets more shots up on the glass, and eventually they feel the Knicks are going to wind up missing more shots than them.
Offensive foul on Ewing. That occurred away from the ball, so the Bulls will get it back. The Chicago Bulls, the defending NBA champions, roared through the regular season. 67 wins. A franchise record. B.J. Armstrong cuts it to a 2-point Knick lead. The Bulls went 67-15 and then swept Miami in the first round of the playoffs. Ewing, bad shot. Cartwright trying to save it. Last touch by the Knicks.
I think Patrick Ewing felt that time that he was hit on the elbow as the shot went up. He turned to the official. There he is again, giving the signal. I don't miss him that bad.
4 minutes gone by in the first. Michael Jordan has tied the game at 10. Jackson under pressure, able to whip it ahead. Ewing. Patrick Ewing 1 for 4 from the field.
I don't want to
beautiful alley-oop from Pippen to Jordan. And the Bulls have taken a 12-10 lead.
The great ability of Michael Jordan to move without the basketball as Gerald Wilkins knocks one down, and the great ability of Scottie Pippen, the skill level of a Pippen to deliver. Eye contact between the two stars. I'm going without it. You put it up by the rim, I'll go catch it.
Bulls had reeled off 8 consecutive points before that Wilkins jump shot. Michael Jordan again. He has hit 3 out of 3 for 8 points. Chicago 14, the Knicks 12. McDaniel posting up on Pippen. Nice spin. Rebound Oakley. Yes, and it counts. The foul committed by Cartwright, and a timeout is taken.
When you have a guy with the size of Scottie Pippen and the skill ability, and then a Michael Jordan at the other end, you can do things like this. Now, you're wondering how it may have started. Movement without the basketball. If he denied, fake one way, go without it, and then hope you have a teammate like Pippen to deliver.
A celebrity-filled crowd. That's Keith Carradine. He sang the national anthem. He's currently on Broadway in the Will Rogers Follies. Dikembe Mutombo, the outstanding rookie from the Denver Nuggets. And to his left, jockey Angel Cordero, who earlier this season announced his retirement. Spike Lee, who was involved in some courtside jawing with his friend Michael Jordan. And a fellow by the name of Tom Brokaw taking off from NBC News to watch the Knicks and the Bulls. The game is tied at 14. 6:52 remaining first quarter. Three-point play completed by the one-time Chicago Bull, Charles Oakley.
And it looks like Pat Riley and the staff have told Charles Oakley in the past couple of games, you've been tentative bringing the ball up the floor, a little bit nervous. Attack it and get us some easy shots against the press.
Wilkins got a piece of that shot attempt. Walking Jordan. The Bulls 5 for 7 from the field. The Knicks 5 out of 9. The Bulls had hit 5 in a row before Wilkins got a piece of that Jordan shot. The Knicks at the other end of the spectrum in terms of Patrick Ewing's shooting. Here is Jordan. And it's tipped, missed by Cartwright. Grant with the follow. Yes, and it counts. And Grant will go to the line.
As soon as New York saw Michael Jordan starting to back down at the offensive end, yesterday afternoon they waited a little while to see if Michael would get off. Well, he did get off, and they had to come and double him when he got down in the post area. Today, Ewing spotted it. He started to run right over. Jordan got the shot off early, and as a result, Ewing was not in real good position. He got caught halfway to get that defensive rebound.
Grant sent to the line off the foul on Oakley. Bulls lead by 1. As I started to say, the Knicks at the other end of the spectrum. Ewing not getting the shots yesterday, but today perhaps looking for the shots too frequently. He is 1 for 5 here at the start. Wilkins on a pull-up. The Knicks lead 17-16. In game 3 yesterday, Gerald Wilkins got off quickly, had a good first half. Jay Armstrong has come on for John Paxson, who picked up the early fouls. Good play by Jordan to keep it alive. Met on a switch by Jackson. Armstrong, that's 2-point range. And Ewing with the rebound. Crowd begins to moan when it appears that Gerald Wilkins is about to pump from outside. Not noted for the outside touch. Mark Jackson, though, has been hitting the jumper from the midway point of the season on. The Knicks now lead it 19-16. Cartwright took his eye off the ball for an instant. Shot clock to 3. Ewing with the steal. It's a 3-on-1. Jackson behind the back for Wilkins. And Phil Jackson wants a timeout with 4:28 remaining in the first quarter. The Knicks with a 21-16 lead. Ewing with the steal, getting it down court, leading to the 3-on-1. Jackson for Wilkins. Off to a fast start, 21-16 lead. And earlier, we asked Pat Riley what his message would be to his team for tonight's game.
Big muscle effort. You know, big muscle activity. It's not about that much strategy as much as it is the tenor and the tone. We got out rebounded in the second half by 10. They picked up 5 loose balls in critical situations. You know, we didn't step up hard enough on drives. That has nothing to do with anything else other than effort. And the only way we're going to have a shot in this series is to continue to increase the intensity when it comes to that area of the game. Otherwise, we're going to come up short.
Funny, one day we hear Phil Jackson tell his team, no coaching today. You guys just go out and play. It's in your hands. Today, we hear Pat Riley say, not about Xing and Owen. It's effort, muscle, desire, all the other things that coaches talk about.
Michael Jordan was forced to alter the shot because of the pressure from the Knicks front line. So the Knicks opening up with that 10-4 run. Bulls come back, but now the Knicks in the midst of a good spurt. Good hustle by Oakley once again. Just under 4 minutes to go in this first quarter. Jackson spinning, had nowhere to go. Oakley with the save, but Grant getting to it. And here's Pippen taking it by himself. He had Jordan ahead of the field. Perhaps Scotty fearing another breakaway miss by Michael?
Well, Gerald Wilkins gambled. He saw he was outnumbered, so he came up right there hoping that Scotty would throw the pass and he'd get a piece of it. Numbers 3-on-1. He gambled. He lost. Pippen said, nah, we won't try to have any errors on this one. I'll finish it.
Knicks lead by 3. Xavier McDaniel has 8 points, and the Knicks have a 23-18 advantage.
And Patrick Ewing set quite a back screen on Scottie Pippen that time to free up the X-Man. Scottie not real happy about that screen.
Now Grant being played by Ewing. Horace Grant with his 3rd field goal. Horace, an unsung hero in the Bull run to the championship last season. And he has brought the Bulls within 3. McDaniel passing on the 3. And back comes Armstrong. 2-on-1. Here's Pippen. Fouled by Jackson.
At the Knicks end of the floor, offensive end, Pippen playing defense right there is cracked in the back by Ewing. That's what freed up the X-Man for his good look at the rim. Pippen not liking it, takes this one strong. Knows there's going to be contact. What concentration the whole time, even when the contact took place, knowing he's going to land on the ground. His eyes are focused on his target as he releases.
And now Greg Anthony checks in for the first time, replacing Mark Jackson. Strong performance by Jackson.
There were some questionable shots taken yesterday by Greg Anthony. He knocks out the 3 initially, but then gets so pumped up that forgets he's got a guy named Patrick Ewing down there, hoists up a couple ill-advised shots. Ewing not real happy about it as Anthony went off the floor. A quick substitution. Mark Jackson back in yesterday afternoon.
Yes, from time to time during the course of the season, Patrick Ewing not happy about the fact that Anthony has not delivered the ball to him. Instead, he has been looking for his shot, and that is not point guard mentality. And Ewing ended up screaming it at Anthony yesterday when he took an ill-advised shot, although the shot clock was running down. Here's Wilkins from deep. And McDaniel had it knocked away. Bernie Fryer on the case. And apparently a timeout was called. 20-second timeout. Smart play by Xavier McDaniel.
You know what? I just saw something special about Patrick Ewing. The fact that the first pass he threw out of the double team was to Greg Anthony, who had just come on the floor. So the ability to move on, move past it, understand that the young player may have made a mistake yesterday. I'll go right back to him, try and show that confidence in a teammate.
Well, Pat Riley talking about some of his younger players said after the game yesterday their hearts are in it, their heads will follow, referring to some of the decisions by Anthony and John Starks. Well, earlier today, as seen here on NBC as the first part of our triple-header playoff coverage, Cleveland in overtime beat Boston up in Boston. Larry Bird made his return, but the Cavaliers tied the series. Seattle over Utah, and the Jazz with a 2-1 lead in that best of 7.
We mentioned earlier in this game that some big missed free throws by the Knicks. Well, in that Celtic-Cleveland game, some big free throws missed by both teams down the stretch.
2 minutes. Just under 2 minutes remaining in this first quarter. The Knicks 23, the Bulls 21. Double teaming of Ewing. Able to give it up. Here's Anthony Mason, who just checked in. Knicks 25, the Bulls 21.
And Ewing knew exactly where his teammates were going to be. He saw the double team come. Everybody was in their spots. And it's just a matter of can you pass, catch, and score the basketball.
Bulls swinging the ball effectively, but Pippen not able to hit. Now Ewing sets the pick, but Cartwright has no problem following Wilkins. Wilkins with a wild shot. I guess Pat Riley will take that one.
Well, I don't think Gerald Wilkins intended to do it, but he got up in the air, knew the shot clock was running down, couldn't get a good look at his open teammate, so he figured best chance, get it on the glass and hope that Oakman or Ewing, one of those guys will go get it once it's up there. Mason, since he's in instead of Oakley.
The Knicks lead at 27-21. Illegal defense call for the first time against the Knicks.
The great athletes have the ability, once they get caught up in the air, to make something good happen. In this case, knowing that Jordan's chasing you, you get up, and then you say, well, Hail Mary, hope it goes in.
And Gerald Wilkins has hit 4 out of 5 in this first quarter. Jordan looked like Wilkins got a piece of it again. Michael Jordan with 10 points. The Knicks 27, the Bulls 23. A half minute to go in the first. McDaniel's pass picked off by Pippen. Nice touch pass from Jordan. And Armstrong brings the Bulls within 2. B.J. Armstrong hitting on his second field goal.
Bulls transition game, when it's working, it's a beautiful thing to see. They have great ball movement, they have spacing, they know where they're supposed to be.
Anthony lost it. Recovered by McDaniel. Final seconds of the quarter. Wilkins. After 1, it's the New York Knicks 27 and the Chicago Bulls 25. Michael Jordan leading the Bulls. He's hit 4 out of 7 for 10 points. And Gerald Wilkins, high man for New York, with 8. We'll be back at the Garden in a moment.
No, I know it's my James Jordan, and I know you're probably in trouble here, so let me let you get yourself off the hook right now.
Yes, Ahmad, I really appreciate the fact that I can take this opportunity to wish my beautiful wife a happy Mother's Day along with my beautiful daughter-in-law and, believe it or not, my daughter.
All right, now tell me about now. Michael is one of these rare athletes that, as great as he is during the season, he really gets into another focus during the playoffs.
Yeah, well, you know, Michael sort of brought this forward as he grew up, you know. He's one of those individuals that hates to lose. And I think this is what the people is enjoying right now.
He was in a great frame of mind this morning. Wasn't he ready for this one?
He was in a great frame of mind. Matter of fact, I think that he's going to leave everything he has on the floor today.
All right, thanks, James. All right, Marv.
Thank you, Ahmad. Michael Jordan with 10 points in the first quarter. Second quarter is underway. Wilkins saving the pass. Ewing. And back come the Bulls. Knicks 27. And the Bulls 25. Jordan with the room. Yes. Michael Jordan has hit 5 out of 8. He has 12 points, and he's tied the game at 27. The Knicks now go with a backcourt of Gerald Wilkins and Greg Anthony. Up front, Xavier McDaniel with the ball. He's fouled. Patrick Ewing, Anthony Mason, and now John Starks will come on for the first time, replacing Gerald Wilkins, who leads with 8 points. The Bulls with Bill Cartwright, Horace Grant, Scottie Pippen on the front line, Michael Jordan, and B.J. Armstrong at the guard.
And Phil Jackson leaving both Jordan and Pippen in the entire first quarter and into the first minute now. 13 straight minutes for his 2 stars.
John Starks with an open 3. The Bulls do not respect the Knicks outside shooting. Starks has certainly been struggling, although during the season he hit the 3-pointer. Jordan, it counts, and the foul. It's called on Starks, so Jordan will go to the line.
Michael Jordan coming off the screen by Cartwright. A good piece of Starks. He can't catch up in time. Jordan gets a real good look with his elevation before he's fouled down low by John Starks.
Substitutions. Cliff Livingston, who played briefly in Game 3 yesterday, has come on. Scott Williams checks in for the first time. Patrick Ewing will get a rest, so Charles Oakley returns, which means Oakley will operate at the center position.
Going back to some of Amad's research that he mentioned earlier about the trash talking, the Bulls felt that John Starks talks also, but his was a good-natured trash talking. They can handle his, they said.
Quality trash talking. As John Starks has talked it up right throughout the season. Of course, Michael Jordan likes to do the same, but didn't seem to mind the words from Starks, but did from Anthony. Here's McDaniel drilling it off glass. The Knicks 32, the Bulls 29.
X-Man with his version of the up and under move from about 18 feet out.
Jordan on a quick release. Oakley saving. Mason handles the ball so well for a big man, able to get it down. McDaniel posting Livingston. Rebound Oakley, swatted away by Jordan. It will be Knick possession. A timeout is taken. 9:53 to go, first half. Back at Madison Square Garden, Mike, I know this is now the big test. And first of all, a correction on the score that we gave you earlier. Cleveland did beat Boston in overtime, but the correct score 114-112. That tied the series at 2. As they started to say, this is now the big test. NBC's secret weapon, the czar of the telestrator, going head-on with Mike, Morley, Ed, and Leslie. Mason. And he's fouled. Fouled by Scott Williams. I think you are excellent counter programming. What's that show, 60 Minutes, I believe? Has the czar left the building?
Sometimes nothing needs to be said.
Yes, Anthony Mason has certainly had stints all over the basketball map. Originally drafted by Portland in the 3rd round back in 1988. Played in Turkey. He appeared in 21 games with the Nets. 3 games with Denver last year. Also some CBA action. A local New York City product out of Springfield Gardens. And he has been a major surprise for the New York Knicks. The Knicks lead 34-29. 2.5 gone by. Second quarter. Shot clock at 2. And McDaniel able to rip it down.
Excellent defense for 22 seconds that time by the New York Knicks. Eventually Jordan winding up with the jumper, and then good defensive rebounding by New York, which they were the best in the league defensive rebounding for the entire season. Here's
McDaniel. He's hacked. Now, most of the season, Xavier McDaniel did not exhibit that strong drive to the hoop. He's had knee problems from time to time. He was not going to the boards strong, and Pat Riley had many talks with Xavier. In fact, following the final game of the regular season, a Knicks victory in Milwaukee, both Pat Riley and Patrick Ewing had a heart-to-heart with Xavier McDaniel, exhorting him to step it up. Of course, you can talk and talk, and someone will say, yes, they'll step it up. But Xavier McDaniel has in the playoffs.
I'm not trying to make excuses for anyone, but there's no question an NBA player will perform much better once he feels healthy. I'll give you two good examples for the Los Angeles Clippers and their surge down the stretch. Danny Manning playing like an all-star. Ron Harper turning his game around the second half of the season. Both said that as their knee got stronger after the surgery and they felt better, their performance moved up.
The Knicks turning it around at the foul line. 9 for 10 in this first half. They lead by 7. Foul call against the Knicks.
New York without a true center on the floor, but what physical specimens to go from X-Man to Mason to Oakley. You to run along the baseline, there's a body coming at you. Crack! Just get out of my way before you try and post up. The foul, that's a little body check by the defensive man, just so Michael can't flash in there without too much ease.
Second foul called on Oakley. Biggest lead of the night for the Knicks. Jordan backing Starks. Yes, 16 for Jordan. The Knicks 36, the Bulls 31.
And Phil Jackson is complaining he wants an illegal defensive call. He thinks that New York is cheating with their big man underneath the basket and trying to come and double team Michael Jordan.
Starks. 5 points for Starks. Hit a 3 earlier. The Knicks 38. And the Bulls 31. And the Knicks are hitting their perimeter shots here in the first half. Jordan. Starks fell down, and Michael Jordan able to sweep by. So the Knicks now lead 38-33. Jordan has hit 8 of 13 for 18 points. Anthony for 3. And Mason able to get to it. Mason with a power move. Rebound McDaniel. Won't count. It's an offensive foul.
Billy Oates, the official, felt that there was a definite move by the offensive rebounder, taking his body into the defensive man, McDaniel, on the way up. There it is, right there. To clear ground, he takes the shoulder, shoves it in. Good call.
Second foul called on McDaniel. Stacey King is now up front with Cliff Livingston and Scottie Pippen. Michael Jordan, B.J. Armstrong in the backcourt. King able to slip by. Stacey King had an excellent game against the Knicks earlier in the season in Chicago. Starks for 3.
There's a discrepancy between the two officials. One's calling 3, one's calling 2 right now. They'll straighten it out on the first dead ball.
Well, the Bulls trying to call for time. Let's see if the 3 holds up, or will they change it to a 2? We'll get another look at that shot. But first, a timeout taken. We'll be back after these messages.
As he delivers, it slides up and just crosses the line. It's touching the three-point line as he releases. A little difficult to tell right there, but he has some forward movement on the right foot, slide up. There it slides up as he pushes in the release. Only Dick Pavetta on that sideline really got the best look at it. He called it a 2. That's what it'll be.
So they change it to the 2, and the Knicks now lead 40-33, 6:45 remaining in this first half. Marv Albert, Mike Fratello, Ahmad Rashad from Madison Square Garden in New York. Bill Cartwright gets the roll for his first field goal. The Knicks 40 and the Bulls 35. Anthony and Starks in the backcourt for the Knicks. Ewing, Oakley, and Mason up front. Mason double team. And Paxson gets to it. So John Paxson has returned, went out early after picking up 2 fouls. Craig Hodges has come on for the first time. So Michael Jordan getting a rest. Jordan has 18 points. Paxson from deep. Yes. John Paxson with his first field goal. The Knicks 40 and the Bulls 37.
And now you have 2 guys on the floor for Chicago who will spot up behind the three-point line. In Paxson and Hodges will really spread the defense out. It will enable Cartwright to work down low or penetration by Pippen off the dribble.
After Ewing off to a 1-for-6 start. Shot clock at 2. Starts attempting from downtown. Bulls open up the floor for Hodges. Three-pointer by the three-point specialist, Craig Hodges, and he's tied the game at 40.
And they knew exactly what they were looking for. When they pushed it into the break, they knew that Hodges and Paxson would spread wide, stop behind the three-point line. They got the shot, he knocked it down.
7 unanswered points for Chicago.
Sped back from Madison Square Garden to the studio here in Manhattan. Exactly why, I don't know, but at halftime, we'll be with you to show you a piece done by Ahmad Rashad about life on the road with the world champion Chicago Bulls. We'll take a look at the highlights from the games played earlier today. We'll get Quinn Buckner's analysis of the first half, and who knows what else. Right now, back to Marv and Mike at the Garden. Marvelous.
All right, Bob, the Bulls and the Knicks are tied at 45-21 remaining in this first half. Ewing getting position and fouled by Cartwright. So Cartwright called for his second, and that is Robin Thicke, the heckler who usually is seen at Bullet games in Landover reading from the Jordan rules, one of the Bulls' favorite books. He's right near the Chicago bench. I can't believe that he has turned up here at the Garden for a Knicks-Chicago playoff game. Robin Thicke, an attorney in Washington. I believe he's handling some of your legal work.
A very stable practice that he has there in the D.C. area.
Visiting coaches and players always delighted to see him. Shot clock at 8. Ewing from deep. Ewing diving for the ball. And Dick Pavetta calling a jump ball or a foul. A foul on Grant.
Charles Oakley coming up off the ground, landed on the same area where he had the hip pointer earlier in this series. He's got inside position right there, but as he goes down, he lands on the sore spot.
Horace Grant's contention is that it's a scramble for a loose ball, and he felt that there should not have been a foul call, but he picks it up, and it sends Ewing to the line. Ewing is 1 for 2 from the foul line.
Pat Riley reminding his team prior to the game that they were out-rebounded by 10 in the second half yesterday, and that there were 5 loose balls that Chicago got after and picked up, and their team did not. So we see the Knicks all over the floor this evening.
And Pippen able to race that one down. Knicks lead by 1. They've led by as many as 8. Just under 5 minutes remaining in this first half. To break it up. There's Paxson. Yes. John Paxson has come off the bench after sitting for a spell after picking up the early fouls, and he's knocked down 2 jump shots. The Bulls lead by 1. Mason eluding Cartwright and then lost the grip. It will be Chicago ball. Mark Jackson and Xavier McDaniel make their return. And Mason and Anthony will sit down. With Michael Jordan getting arrested as Scottie Pippen, who is handling the ball, but Jordan about to return, walking over to the scorer's table. Pippen with the step and then crunched. McDaniel looking for a tie-up. And apparently that sprained ankle is not bothering Scottie Pippen.
You can tell when players are hurt. In the case of Scottie Pippen, when he hurt it, he stopped going to the basket, stopped rebounding, and the transition game stopped for the Bulls. As soon as it started to feel a little bit better, yesterday afternoon, he asserts himself, has a big game. Here today, we see him going strong to the rim.
Pippen is now 1 for 3 from the line. Yes, he did have his problems over the first 2 games. Hit only 10 of 30 from the field. And turned it yesterday with the 26 points, and he closed strong. He had a big fourth quarter. The Bulls 43 and the Knicks 41. Jackson setting the offense. Jackson and Starks in the backcourt. McDaniel reviewing, and Oakley up front. That was the first close-in opportunity for Patrick Ewing.
Yeah, and that had to be a floater coming along the baseline. He really wasn't set to go up with a shot.
Once again, he's not getting the good shots. Pippen rejected. McDaniel. The feed was broken up. Back come the Bulls. And it will be Nick Ball.
Paxson centered it back up. He knew he had Pippen in the left lane. Jordan went and filled the right lane that time. Pippen was so anxious to throw it down hard and take it strong to the basket that he lost concentration on the basketball.
Starks with some room. Yes. So he's tied the game at 43. Starks has hit 4 out of 5, 9 points. Bulls have memories of their meeting here in New York in late March. Starks in 8 of 15 from downtown. Grant getting terrific position, and he's given the Bulls a 45-43 lead.
And perhaps because Pat Riley knows that a guy like Starks can get on the roll, he had Gerald Wilkins at the table. When Starks made the last shot, he called Wilkins back. Starks again with the jumper. He called Wilkins back, spoke to him for a moment, and perhaps what he said is, don't go in and take John out. Go in to replace whoever he wants, perhaps the small forward position, play with a real small team out there on the floor.
Game tied at 45 as we come up on 2 minutes remaining. First half. Pippen backing McDaniel. Ewing with the rebound. Starks tried to lose Jordan on a pick, but could not. Shot clock at 7. Here's Ewing. He'll go to the line. Patrick Ewing was fouled. Gerald Wilkins returns, comes on for Charles Oakley. Bill Cartwright was charged with his 3rd foul.
So what Pat Riley did was tell Wilkins to come on, give Oakley a rest, who had injured that hip once again. That moves the X-Man, McDaniel, over to the power forward position. He'll have to go up against Grant. That means that they expect a lot more on the glass from McDaniel in that 4 spot.
Ewing now 3 out of 5 from the line. The Knicks have hit 11 of 13. Ewing with the only 2 misses. Patrick Ewing, a 74% free throw shooter. The Knicks lead 47-45.
Gerald Wilkins comes on the floor, and rather than put him on Michael Jordan, they have Wilkins on Pippen. They leave Starks on Michael Jordan.
Jordan isolating on Starks. Yes. Michael Jordan going glass has tied the game at 47. Jordan with 20. We're approaching 1 minute remaining of the half. Starks for 3. Rebound handled by Pippen. Paxson open for 3. Back come the Knicks. It's a 4-on-3. Jackson accelerates, gets it to Ewing, couldn't handle it, and Wilkins recovers.
And Patrick was so anxious to get it up there that it just slipped off his hands.
Jackson, McDaniel missed the tip. Jackson hit the floor. Half minute to go in this first half. The game tied at 47. Ewing jumping out on a switch, so Cartwright is open. Ewing with the lead. No, he lost it. Yes, and it counts. What a play by Horace Grant.
And Patrick Ewing was so frustrated, he almost went and punched the stanchion because he knew he had a defensive rebound in his hands. It slipped out, winds up. Innocent bystander. Grant says, thanks. You want to give it to me? Let me lay it up here.
Foul called on Ewing, his third.
Well, the battle under the glass, it looks like it's all Patrick's, but as he comes down and tries to snatch it, it winds up being a deuce and free throw attempt coming up for Grant.
Horace Grant has had a superb first half. Ewing will sit down. Grant 5 for 5 from the field. 10 points. He is a 74% free throw shooter. Will Perdue has come on for the first time, replacing Bill Cartwright. The Bulls lead by 2. Perdue ties up Jackson. Good hustle play by the backup center, Will Perdue.
One of the quickest jump ball whistles in quite a while that time.
Will Perdue did a good job off the bench yesterday in Game 3. Now Phil Jackson takes a 20-second timeout. 13 seconds to go in the first half. The Bulls with a 49-47 lead on the Knicks. High point out of the game, Michael Jordan with 20. The Knicks being led by John Starks and Xavier McDaniel, each with 11. Patrick Ewing showing a 1 for 8 in this first half.
Since right now they're going to have a jump ball underneath the Bulls basket, and it looks like New York will be at a disadvantage on the jump ball, you must make sure that you cover all the shoulders. See, one guy on each side of Grant there. They don't want to give a layup, so probably a back tap to Hodges or Jordan.
All right, that's what it is. Hodges gets to it. Nice coaching. Down to 5 seconds. Down to 3. Jordan firing. So at halftime, the Bulls 49 and the Knicks 47. A sensational first half for Michael Jordan. 9 for 15 for 20 points. Coming up, Bob Costas, Quinn Buckner with the Prudential halftime report. Bulls by 2 at the half. We'll be back in a moment.
Madison Square Garden, Bulls lead the Knicks in Game 4, 49-47. The Knicks are within 2 with Patrick Ewing 1 of 8 from the field for 6 points. McDaniel leads them with 12. Jordan's the game-high man with 20 points at the half.
Absolutely, but what I like about what I'm seeing is that the Bulls are starting to pick up the tempo. What New York was trying to do was get the extra effort kind of things. They got some shots in the paint, they got rebounds, and that was good. But what I saw at the end of the half, they got tired. They started to wear the Bulls started to wear them down, and that's why the score has come back to the Bulls.
This is probably partly circumstantial, but the Knicks were 8 for 8 in the paint in the first quarter. 0 for 10 in that range in the second quarter.
Well, that's a little bit of being tired. See, when you're tired, you just don't have the pop to get back to the basket, to get it in, to finish the play. And I think a lot of the emotion that happened in the early part of the game started to take its toll in the latter part of the first quarter, or the second quarter.
So the bottom line of what you're getting to, I think, is that on intensity and effort, strategy by Riley, preparation, the Knicks have stayed with the Bulls. But now the talent is just wearing them down.
Boy, you read me well. That's exactly what I was saying.
So even though it's a 2-point game, again, you think Chicago's going to come out in the second half, not trying to put words in your mouth, and boom.
I think Chicago's going to come out in the second half and go, boom. You did that well.
You know, you're stepping your own level up here. I'm getting frightened. A busy day of playoff basketball here on NBC. In Boston, the Cavs beat the Celtics in overtime 114-112. The series is tied 2-2 with Game 5 on Wednesday night in Cleveland. Larry Nance had 32 for the Cavs. Big game for him. Reggie Lewis tied his career-high regular season or playoffs with 42. Larry Bird played for the first time in 5 weeks, but looked tentative at times. and he scored only 4 points. In Seattle, the Sonics won a game they had to have, beating the Jazz by 6. Utah still leads the series 2-1 with Game 4 Tuesday night in Seattle. Ricky Pierce broke out of a slump to score 31 for the Sonics. Now up next, we'll take a look at what life on the road with the world champion Chicago Bulls is like, at least in part. That's right after this message from Prudential and a word from the NBA. Bulls began the defense of their championship by polishing off the Miami Heat. As they headed for Miami to put the finishing touches on the 3-game sweep, Ahmad Rashad went along for the ride, and a glimpse inside the sometimes mundane, sometimes almost surreal life on the road in the NBA.
They left the airport 10 minutes ago. This is all media. This is separate files. Do these
What's up, man? What's happening, man? How are you here? Be nice to stay down here a couple of days, huh? Microphone? Yeah. I would love to stay down here. God would be good.
Get some autographs. Let's go Bulls.
What do you do with that cutout?
Try to get it signed by Michael Jordan. Mike, there's only 3 of us, please. There's only 3 of us. What's the deal?
Here, probably a little bit more enthused and intense here, and so we got a tough job ahead of us. So we come in with one soul and one focus, and that's to come in and win, no matter what it takes.
Their best shot, and this could be their last game for the season. So
we
they're
don't
going to come out
and play aggressive. They would definitely beat us. But the thing that we're worried about is Rice getting off.
Does this ever get boring?
During the season, this is kind of boring. Just kind of 4 corners and a bed. But I just think during the playoffs, this is a great time of the year. It makes it much nicer.
The Chicago Bulls have hit town. The Bulls, in the meantime, are relaxed but ready.
De los campeones de la NBA, los Chicago Bulls, nuevamente toda la atención de los fanáticos del básquetbol.
What about tonight, guys? Same old, same old?
We know Lockery well enough that he's going to junk up his defense. So.
What do you think they'll do?
I think
they'll take it off and then fall back in the lane. This now they'll go on the road.
A lot of presses, a lot of mid-court presses.
Traps. So?
Yeah.
I think they're not going to protect. I don't think going the exact opposite. I think they'll. We've cut them up. We're bleeding for a press. I think he might pack it in this time and see what packing it in does for him. Pack it in or up court full, one or the other. But we will see.
Well, yeah, I think it's more important for us to go out and play our game.
It's got to get old to have, every time you go somewhere, you got the press following you. I mean, you guys can't get any privacy.
Well, that's the one thing. It comes along with the territory, and, you know, you really can't even go to the bathroom by yourself unless a camera or someone's there to watch you.
Can I go play team host?
Play what?
Defending champion Bulls, of course, with all of their mystique against the new kids on the block.
The time we finish practice is 11 o'clock till tonight. It seems like it takes forever.
Pre-game talk starts about 35 minutes before game time, and then that's a built-up routine where most guys doze, fall asleep, and listen to me talk. It's just like a preacher in church.
Seems like 8 o'clock's coming pretty quick now.
Left wing Pippen. Crossover dribble down the lane. Off the way for the slam dunk. Into the front court. Behind his back comes left wing. Now down the lane. All the way for the two-hand slam. And the foul on Allen.
Well, congratulations, man.
Kids played really great tonight, boy. They played terrific. Congratulations on a good year.
Okay, good luck. Hey, Kevin, congratulations. Thank you. Good job.
No, let's go through here. Good luck.
Thanks.
Hope you make it all the way. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Okay, let's check again with Ahmad Rashad, who's standing by live at Madison Square Garden. Ahmad, you've been around a lot of teams in various sports. How would you characterize this Chicago Bull team?
Well, Bobby, it's kind of like they're like rock stars, the way they move around from city to city and from hotel to hotel. And the Chicago Bulls have such a following around the league. Every hotel they go to, there's people waiting for them. No matter what they have scheduled, there's always autograph seekers waiting for them. And they have a lot of downtime during the course of the day. It's when it's boring. Some guys play cards, some guys walk around the malls, other guys take a nap. And when the pressure's off is actually when they start to play the game.
And they'll start to play it again in the second half, and we'll return with that action. The Bulls leading the Knicks by 2 right after these messages from your local station. Our thanks to Quinn. Our thanks to Ahmad. Maybe we'll see you after the game.
This has been the Prudential Halftime Report, brought to you by the companies of the Prudential. In a changing world, one thing remains rock solid: the Prudential.
At Madison Square Garden, Game 4 of this best-of-7 Eastern Conference semifinal series. The Bulls with a 2-1 lead. Bulls with a 2-point lead at halftime. Marv Albert with the czar of the telestrator, Mike Fratello, along with Ahmad Rashad. And the Bulls defense certainly tightened up in that second quarter. The Knicks with only 20 points. They shot 6 for 20 from the field in the second quarter.
Actually, Mark, both teams came out shooting extremely well. 56 in the first quarter for Chicago, 55 for New York. But Chicago maintained the shooting throughout the second half, winding up shooting around 55%, whereas New York drops down, shoots 31 in that second quarter.
And Michael Jordan, 9 of 15 for his game high. 20 points, as you said. The Bulls 55%, the Knicks at 43% for the half. These are today's Miller Genuine Draft halftime stats, and the Knicks once again doing it off the boards.
Well, it's a little deceiving here, the 24-17 advantage, because New York held the advantage 9-5 on the offensive boards. Chicago shooting it so well, there aren't that many misses.
Bulls by 2. We'll be back in a moment. Where the Chicago Bulls lead the New York Knicks 49-47 as we head to the third quarter. Michael Jordan leading the Bulls with 20. Horace Grant with a strong first half, 10 points, 5 rebounds. Xavier McDaniel, the high point man for the Knicks, with 12. John Starks off the bench for 11. Starks hit 5 out of 7 from the field. The Knicks and the Bulls going back-to-back for this Game 3 and Game 4 of the best of 7. Here's a breakdown of how these two clubs have done when they played back-to-back during the course of the season.
In the first half, Jordan took 15 of their 38 shots for Chicago. That's almost 40%. Sometimes that's a problem when he dominates their offense too much.
Here's Grant. Air ball. Handled by Wilkins. Wilkins and Jackson in the backcourt. Ewing, McDaniel, and Oakley up front. Ewing off balance, and Patrick Ewing is now 1 for 9 from the field. The Bulls with Paxson and Jordan at the guards, Cartwright, Grant, and Pippen up front. Scottie Pippen only 1 for 6 in the first half. Cartwright and Ewing playing with 3 fouls apiece, and Pippen gets right to it. 6 points for Pippen. The Bulls 51 and the Knicks 47. This represents Chicago's biggest lead of the game.
Scottie Pippen, who was 1 for 6 in the first half, certainly needed to come out early by establishing that outside game. If he knocks a couple more down, that'll create openings off the dribble for him.
Shot clock at 1. Jackson flinging one. Oakley. And the Knicks were looking for a foul. Nothing called. Good play by Mark Jackson. He kept it alive, avoiding the 24-second violation. It will be Nick Ball. Looked like Charles Oakley was shaken up off this sequence.
It's the arms wrapped around after the right there is where the finger comes across the eye. Grant on Oakley.
And now a 20-second timeout taken by the Knicks. Charles Oakley very slow to walk toward the Knick huddle.
And I'm not so sure right now that it's the eye which is poked right here or grabbed by Grant as it comes across. That's not the problem, I don't think. It's the hip, which he had injured earlier in the series, re-injured again in the first half. That seems to be the problem.
The problem from Charles's point of view was that a foul was not called. A reminder, coming up next on most of these NBC stations, you can celebrate Mother's Day with the likes of Michael Jordan and Steve Martin, Roseanne Arnold, Patrick Swayze, Madonna, Hammer, Garth Brooks, Linda Hamilton, and the not ready for prime time players. It is Saturday Night Live, all the best for Mother's Day. A special 2-hour prime time celebration that is coming up next, except for those on the West Coast who will see the special at its regularly scheduled time. Now the Knicks with 19 on the shot clock. Minute and a half gone by. Third quarter. Knicks trailing by 4 points. Wilkins using the screen. Rebounded by Paxson. And a defense from the crowd. Ewing hit down. Cartwright called for his fourth.
Ewing knew that Cartwright was going to try and come across the lane since the screen was set. He just beat him to the spot, got his body there first. Cartwright runs him over.
The Knicks are 0 for 4 this third quarter. Will Perdue is getting set to come on for Bill Cartwright. Here's Oakley, who apparently is all right. Goes right at Cartwright. It is so rare to see a successful post-up move by Charles Oakley. The Bulls 51 and the Knicks 49. Here is Pippen. Rebounded by McDaniel. Outlets Wilkins. And the Bulls want to talk it over. The Knicks and the Bulls are tied at 51.
I'm now alongside assistant coach Bob Salmi. Now, in the first half, Michael Jordan had 20 points. So in the playoffs, it's all about adjustments. Can you tell me what you adjusted at halftime?
Well, we talked about contested shots. In other words, we can make Michael Jordan almost human by getting up and contesting shots. In the first half, he just got too many shots where we didn't have a hand in his face. And you can see on this particular play, Scottie Pippen looking for him on a down screen, and Jordan goes to get the ball up in the air. There's no one around to contest the shot. If we're trailing screens, one of two things has to happen. We have to get around that screen better, or the man guarding the screener has to show.
All right, that's the adjustment that the Knicks tried to make at halftime. We'll see if it works. Marv?
Item on, Bob Salmi, the assistant coach of the New York Knicks, and also video coordinator. Pushing foul called on the Knicks. Oakley does not like it.
They just feel that there's been so much hand checking in this series. To call one like this, not worth even blowing the whistle.
Game tied at 51. 2:45 gone by. Third quarter. Will Perdue come on for the foul play. Bill Cartwright with a mismatch. Had a notion to go at Jackson, then threw it out. Here's Perdue wide open. Will Perdue banks it home for his first field goal. And the Bulls now lead 53-51.
Mark Jackson was called to Patrick Ewing. Double team because he got caught with Will Perdue. But Ewing said, I have my own problems. I got Paxson out here by the three-point line to worry about.
Here's McDaniel. Yes. So he's tied the game at 53. Those of you who were with us yesterday afternoon are well aware that Will Perdue has developed into a cult figure in Chicago, has his own 1-900 number. We checked it out yesterday, and when we get a chance, we'll check out Will's message today at 1-900-WILL. Paxson, that's two-point range. Rebounded by Jordan. Michael Jordan getting inside. That's his first field goal this third quarter.
Gerald Wilkins with the responsibility of getting a body on Jordan. Unfortunately, Michael had inside position. Gerald had no chance.
And the foul called on Perdue. It has been a similar pattern for Patrick Ewing as you see him looking for position on Will Perdue throughout most of the playoffs. And Mike, this carries back to the series against Detroit. That's a travel. So the ball to Chicago. Patrick Ewing has not been able to get off in the first half, but has come on strong in the second half. And Ewing this evening 1 for 8 from the field in the first half.
Well, the more offensive weapons you add, the easier it becomes for Patrick Ewing. And this is just the beginning for the new New York Knicks, with Grant knocking down the face-up jumper. And as the years go on, that's what Dave Checknitz and Pat Riley will continue to do, add more pieces to the Knick arsenal.
Well, it has forced Ewing into taking a number of poor quality shots. That is more like it from the Knick point of view. That was his best shot opportunity of the game.
Yeah, he's allowed to manhandle Will Perdue a little bit easier than he is Bill Cartwright. Bill Cartwright, a lot of respect out there from the officials because of all the years of service here in the league.
Bulls with a 2-point lead. Paxson off the dribble. Oh, nice move. John Paxson going to the left hand, hitting on his third field goal. He has 6. In Chicago, 59. New York, 55. Just under 7 minutes remaining in this third quarter. Ewing's pass was picked off, but a whistle. And the call against Chicago. Horace Grant is upset. It's a hold away from the ball called on Grant, so that nullified the steal by Perdue, who made an excellent play. The Knicks with Jackson and Wilkins at the guards. Ewing, McDaniel, and Oakley up front. They have their starting lineup on the floor. Again, the pressure on Ewing. Yes. So Ewing has hit 2 in a row, and the Knicks trail by 2.
Chicago is trying to double team Patrick from the top with the man that's passing the ball. Will Perdue must get Patrick to turn into that double team, not go baseline, or else, in effect, there is no double team on it.
Rare miss for Jordan, but kept alive by Grant. Jordan with the side angle jump. Jackson pushing it down. The Bulls able to get back on the transition. Here's Jackson. The Knicks had hit their last 5 field goal attempts. Pippen with a beautiful pass for Grant, and he's fouled.
When the ball comes in, Chicago is doubling down with the passer. Paxson's man enters into Ewing. Paxson goes on the double team, but Ewing turns away from the double team. So, in effect, there's no 2-time on Patrick. He gets a clean look, knocks it down.
Ewing now, 10 points, 6 rebounds, only 3 for 11 from the field, but he's hit his last 2. Horace Grant sent to the line off the foul committed by Mark Jackson. Grant, a 74% free throw shooter. As you can see, the Bulls tonight struggling at the line. Horace now 0 for 4, but Perdue gets to the rebound. Pippen, played by Ewing, who does not want to pick up his 4th. And it's a reach-in. If it is Ewing, it is number 4. It is.
And that was a bad decision that time by the other Knick players. As soon as you saw Ewing matched up against Pippen, you knew he was going to put it on the floor. The next guy should have come right away, double team, get Pippen to kick the ball, let somebody else beat him from the other side of the floor. They need, obviously, Patrick Ewing in the game for the majority of the minutes if they have a chance to win.
And Pat Riley's decision, although Ewing has hit his last 2 in collecting his 4th foul, he will take him out. Anthony Mason reporting back in, and now Charles Oakley moves back to center.
Just when he seems to get it going after struggling through the first half, the worst thing that could happen, picks up his 4th, and it's a major decision for Pat Riley. Probably the correct one. Sit him for a few minutes, hope to buy some time and stay close. But when we go back to yesterday afternoon's game, when he rested Patrick Ewing for just 3 minutes, that wound up being the key moments at the end of the ball game. Chicago took over and dominated.
Wilkins stopped by Perdue, and a foul is called. Second committed by Will Perdue. Will Perdue in his 4th season out of Vanderbilt. Not flashy, certainly not spectacular, but a solid, legitimate backup center. worked hard to improve. Good passer, strong offensive rebounder. Not a good jumper, though. And over the years, he has given Patrick Ewing problems.
Sometimes it's just the size of the individual. They just seem to have an ability to bother certain guys. Now, when they get to do that on a regular basis, then they become starters in this league. Otherwise, they come in and play spot minutes.
The ball 61. And the Knicks 59. Minutes remaining in the third quarter. Shot clock down to 5. Down to 2. 1. Jordan gets it off. 24-second violation. And again, Phil Jackson pleading with Dick Pavetta that there should be an illegal defense called on the Knicks. They were called for one earlier. The second illegal defensive call means a technical foul.
Michael Jordan bruised probably his right quadricep area. A late rotation got underneath him that time. He went down hard and is struggling with that.
Pavetta with the loose ball foul call against Chicago.
A moment ago when Jordan went to the basket, the late rotation underneath by Oakley there, the right quad area. When Jordan comes down, he struggles a little bit, grabs that right leg. There it is on the way down. Ankle perhaps.
Well, Michael hanging in. He's trying to shake it off. That Chicago foul was called on Grant. The Bulls have 4 team fouls. Knicks with 3. McDaniel with the spin. He thought he was fouled. Nothing called. Oakley. And he's hit by Pippen. The Knicks started to react because they feared that the foul would be called offensive. Now they say Purdue on the foul. They changed the call. It's Purdue with his 3rd.
This is how the whole thing started on that shot attempt by McDaniel. He felt there should have been a foul. Oakman felt there should have been a foul. Finally, the late whistle at the end, and both players, 3 players, 4 players reacting to the officials. Why not a call coming on the initial contact?
Here's Cliff Levingston checking back in. Played 4 minutes in the first half, and Jordan looks a little gimpy as he heads back to the bench. Michael hobbling, but we have seen him make strong returns on many an occasion.
Yeah, I had thought it was the quad area at first, but he's reaching down, grabbing the ankle, starting to take that sneaker off, and Chip Schaefer, the trainer, going back, probably get some tape and work on that right away.
Hits on both, and he's tied the game at 61, and the Knicks 16 for 18 at the free throw line, turning it from the poor free throw shooting yesterday afternoon. Just under 4 minutes remaining in the third. Game tied at 61. Here is Pippen. And the Bulls lead at 63-61.
That ball started from the right side of the floor, entered into the post area, and then they ran screens away on the opposite side, brought Pippen all the way around to get the open shot.
Once again, activity down low. Look at Michael Jordan, who's being checked out by the Bulls trainer, Chip Schaefer. Let's go to Ahmad.
All right, Marv, on that last drive attempt by Michael Jordan, when he came down on the ground, he did twist his right ankle, and he's just having the thing retaped. But I guarantee you, if it's not anything but broke, that's the only thing that would keep Michael out of this game. I'm sure he will return. Marv?
All right, Ahmad. Scottie Pippen was called for the foul, his 3rd. McDaniel now 3 of 4 from the line. Xavier McDaniel, 13 points. He is the high man for the Knicks. Michael Jordan leading the Bulls with 22. 20 coming in the first half. Chicago by 1. 3:35 remaining in this third quarter. Marv Albert with Mike Fratello and Ahmad Rashad from Madison Square Garden. They double up on Pippen. Paxson open. Good recovery by Jackson. Very tough defensive sequence by the Knicks, who are hearing it from the crowd. Purdue rebounded by Mason. McDaniel trying to lose Livingston on a screen down low. Now picked up on the switch by Grant. Shot clock at 3. Wilkins called for the travel. So the Bulls get it back. But first, Pat Riley takes a timeout. Along the lines of Jose Canseco, dial a prayer and dial a date. Will Purdue has his own 1-900 number. You call Will, you hear his views on each game. We heard yesterday's message. Now, as a public service, we bring you a sampling from today.
New York is good, but we're better. Howdy. Will back, feeling a whole lot better, as are Chicago fans. As I said, it would be a war, and it was. Even Rye was beginning to believe his quotes. All right, we'll continue to practice our free throws. But we came to play. We walked through Miami too easily. It took the Knicks to remind us how to play playoff basketball. Did he miss another jam? Maybe it's the shoes.
Well, Will still dispensing that valuable information. Will referring to teammate Michael Jordan, who has made his return, just missed on that jump shot. Oakley called for the foul, and it will be Chicago ball at side court.
Once that ankle was taped back up, you want to get Michael back on the floor as quickly as possible. Don't let that ankle tighten up on him.
2:25 remaining in the third. The Knicks with the ball. They trail the Bulls by 1.
Knicks doing a very good job of keeping the score close with Patrick Ewing on the bench.
Here's Jackson. And Jordan with the rebound.
Mark Jackson just needs to get the ball up in the air a little bit more.
Oh, Pippen. Scott Williams on the follow. The Bulls lead 65-62. Scott Williams in his second season out of North Carolina. Back on the court, played briefly in the first half. That was his first field goal. Here's Wilkins. Oakley able to get to it. That's his 11th rebound.
Well, when Ewing went out with 5:19 left in the quarter, it was 61-58, 3 points. So 4 minutes later, it's still a 3-point deficit for the Knicks.
Patrick Ewing leaving after collecting his 4th foul. Wild shot by McDaniel. Chased down by Mason. Shot clock at 5. Wilkins didn't realize it. Either the Jackson that he was told fired the 3 in desperation. And Mason gets to it. Oakley behind the back to McDaniel.
The Knicks with a little assist from the crowd that time, reminding Mark Jackson to get it up on the glass. Give us a chance before the 24-second clock goes off.
The Bulls lead by 1. Just under 1 minute left in the third. Pippen had the lane closed. Here's Pippen, nice fake. And he's picked up and fouled by Jackson. The Knicks are now over the limit.
A little bit of nifty ball handling by the big people. Pass out by Mason, behind the backer by Oak, and then a little flip toss up there by the X-Man.
Scottie Pippen to the line with the Knicks going over the foul limit. Pippen is 4 for 6 from the line. He has not shot well from the field. Way off.
That was ugly. That's what that shot was. That didn't even look like Pippen was shooting that one as he normally does. No lift, a line drive at the front of the rim.
Cliff Livingston, B.J. Armstrong report back. The Bulls 8 for 16 at the free throw line. Will be Nick Ball.
Off the free throw line, a little bit of an adjustment, but not quite enough, and then Oak trying to take a seat for a while. Perhaps he needs a rest.
Mason couldn't find anyone, just did avoid a 5-second call on the inbound. Mason able to pull up. I mentioned earlier he is an excellent ball handler for a frontline player. Goes 6'7", 6'8".
Credits his high school coach for way back when telling him that he wasn't ever going to be big enough to be a center in this league. Going to learn how to handle.
Loose ball foul. Ball on the ball. It's on Scott Williams. So the Bulls are now over the limit. Sending to the Knicks to the line with 24 seconds to go in the third. So Pat Riley made the move. He took Ewing out, and he has not gotten hurt by it. Down by only one with Oakley at the line.
Well, I'm sure that the Knicks were reminded about yesterday afternoon in their preparation for today's game that when Ewing goes out, even though he's the focal point and has been for the entire season, other players must step up their performance and hold off the Chicago Bulls. Reminded by the coaching staff, the situation happens again today here in the third quarter because of foul problems to Ewing, and right now, tie score, they have more than held their own with Ewing on the bench.
However, Mike, and you've seen it with star players before, the concern of the Knicks has to be that Ewing will return and try to do too much because he's not played well and has not been able to chalk up the points. Has only 10 points. He's hit only 3 of 11, although he did hit his last 2. Armstrong. The assist for Jordan, setting up B.J. Armstrong. The Bulls by 2. Knicks holding for a final shot. 10 seconds to go in the quarter. Anthony draws the double team. Down to 5 seconds. And a tripping foul. It's called on B.J. Armstrong. So Greg Anthony to the line.
Well, you'll take your points any way you can get them, and Anthony doing a very good job of stepping through the double team, looking for his teammates. You need toughness as a guard, particularly against teams that are going to trap you. You have to be willing to take the physical contact and then have the strength to split those double teams, keep your head up, and still find an open teammate.
Let's go over to Marv.
All right, Marv, you remember at the beginning of the game when I said that the Bulls were a little bit upset that Greg Anthony was doing a lot of trash talking. If you notice, you have done none of that today. He's just got his head in the game and staying strictly with the business.
Meanwhile, a technical foul has been called on Phil Jackson once again. That's his second. So he has been ejected. Phil Jackson hit with a second technical of the night.
Head coaches in this league have a very good idea of which officials you can talk to, how far you can push them. I think early in the game, Phil Jackson wanted a technical. At this point, I don't think he wanted it. I think that he felt Dick Bavetta is a guy that you can talk to and is not going to all of a sudden do something irrational like tossing a head guy out of the game. Phil waving goodbye to the Garden crowd.
One-time New York Knick and a very popular player here in New York. Spent 11 years with the Knicks, coached by Red Holzman, who he gave a lot of credit to last season after winning the championship. Now the Bulls will be handled by the 2 veterans, Johnny Bott, Tex Winter, along with assistant Jim Clemens. There's Dick Bavetta with the indication. The steal by Anthony from downtown. He fires high and wide. So that's the end of the third. It's the Chicago Bulls 67 and the New York Knicks 66. Game 4, the best of 7. The Knicks trying to tie it at 2-2. The Bulls looking to take it back to Chicago, leading 3-1. Back after this from your local station.
Referee Dick Bavetta had enough of whatever Phil Jackson was saying to him, sent him for an early shower into the locker room. Phil got a little laugh out of it. And then the decision, who's going to take over coaching the team? 2 veterans, Tex Winter, Johnny Bott? Nah, Jim Clemens. In fact, just before Phil Jackson left, he sent instructions over. He said, Jim's taking over. He's the single voice in the huddle with everyone else's help.
Fourth quarter is underway. Mason not able to handle that pass as the Bulls went to the trap. And now McDaniel on the recovery finds Starks. It's the Knicks 68 and the Bulls 67. The tie-in between Phil Jackson and Jim Clemens goes back to Phil's days as a member of the New York Knicks. Clemens spent a brief time with the Knicks, acquired in the deal from Cleveland for Walt Clyde Frazier. Here's Livingston, rebounded by Mason. And Pat Riley staying with the unit that ended the third quarter. Patrick Ewing went out after picking up his fourth foul. We'll have to see when that decision will come. When will Ewing make his return?
I think you buy as many minutes as you can so you have Patrick with 2 fouls left.
McDaniel with the shot clock running down. Pippen had it knocked away. Recovered by Armstrong. Michael Jordan seems to be laboring a bit. Sprained the ankle earlier. Rebounded by Anthony.
Yeah, and he's backing up defensive transition gingerly on that ankle. No lift that time on the jump shot by Jordan. Could be because of the ankle, as you mentioned.
Starks using the pick. Finds Mason open. Anthony Mason, not noted for the outside shot. Able to line drive it home. The Knicks lead 70-67.
And Chicago calling for their triangle offense. Get back into the basic half-court set. Let's execute.
Here's Armstrong. Off-balance shot. Mason with the box out. Spirited play by the New York Knicks to take a 3-point lead. Mason lost it. Recovered. Starks for 3. Rebound McDaniel. Yes, and it counts.
The Knicks right now are really using their strength and physicalness under the boards. Livingston basically is the big man on the floor along with Williams, and nowhere near as big or physical as a Bill Cartwright, and Grant much more physical also. The body's coming up with second shots, capitalizing on the opportunities.
Miller Genuine Draft presents Genuine Memories.
Tonight's Miller Genuine Draft Genuine Memory takes us back to 1973, and a lanky left-hander by the name of Phil Jackson, known for his defense and occasional offensive flashes, and he helped lead the New York Knicks to an NBA championship. The Knicks have not won a title since May 10th, 1973, exactly 19 years ago to the day. In recognition of that memorable moment, Miller Genuine Draft donates $1,000 to the Thurgood Marshall Scholarship Fund. Xavier McDaniel completing the 3-point play. The Knicks in the midst of a run, lead at 73-67. Phil Jackson telling me before the game he has not heard the Garden crowd as loud as it was yesterday as Michael Jordan is finally able to hit. He has 24 points, 20 coming in the first half. He said the decibel level yesterday was as loud as it's been since back in the Knicks' last championship season. McDaniel again. The Knicks lead 75-69.
There's no question that the people appreciate the effort that the players have given him over the entire season. I think they raised the level of belief in this team with the Detroit series, and now playing this team as even as they are in this series, it's got to help everyone.
Wilkins called for the foul on the subject of those Knicks championship squads alongside their coach, Red Holzman. Here's Ahmad.
All right, thanks, Marv. Red, now, this crowd is wild here today. I guess it's reminiscent of back in 73.
It's very, very similar. They're a very big help to the guys on the court. But our guys seem to have a lot of energy today. They're really out there working hard.
You got to be proud of a couple of your ex-players, and Phil Jackson and now Jimmy Clemens over there.
I'm very proud of Phil and Cartwright, and Jimmy's taken over, I see, over there. And Phil has done a great job. I don't know what he said to the guy, but he must have been something.
All right, Red. Thanks for visiting with us.
Okay.
All right, Marv.
Red Holzman now a consultant to the New York Knicks. Xavier McDaniel called for the foul, his third. Michael Jordan now 3 out of 4 from the line.
And I think it's wonderful what the Knicks have done with Coach Holzman, the fact that he is on the cover of their press guide this year. They've included him in training camp. They've brought him on some road trips with him, trying to go back and bring back some of the nostalgia of the past, the winning years, the tradition of New York basketball.
The Knicks lead 75-71. 8:50 remaining. Fourth quarter. Anthony, Starks, and Wilkins. A three-guard alignment utilized by Pat Riley, along with Mason and McDaniel. Shot clock at 5. McDaniel spinning. Grant. The Knicks 77. The Bulls 71. Xavier McDaniel exploding here in the fourth quarter. Jordan battling for position. All Starks nearly was able to knock it away, sneaking from behind. Here's Grant. Strong move by Grant, and he'll go to the line.
With the shot clock running down, you have to have the ability to put the ball on the floor and create a shot for yourself. Well, X-Man does a pretty good job of creating, splitting two defenders, and then converting at the end.
Xavier McDaniel 9 for 16 for his 24 points. Foul committed by Mason. Grant is 0 for 4 from the line. So the Knicks now lead 77-72. And Clemens, who took over the coaching reins from the ejected Phil Jackson, has Grant up front with Pippen, and he's staying with the second-year player, Scott Williams.
Well, you may ask why Scott Williams now, as Grant misses the free throw. The coaches on the Bull staff feel that he has one of the highest reliability factors. Guys you can count on that doesn't deviate a whole lot from game to game when it gets to crunch time. They're giving him the minutes right now to prove it.
Wilkins with a strong move to the left. Rebounded by Williams. That's the feeling that Scott Williams' mistake ratio is down. Jordan! Rebounded McDaniel. Strong move, though, by Michael Jordan. That ankle might be fine. Here's Starks. And it's stopped by Williams. Knicks wanted a goaltend. They're able to recapture. Dick Pavetta blowing the whistle.
Dick Pavetta saying that the ball hit the backboard. The 24-second clock should be reset to 24. A terrific defensive play by Scott Williams, getting back in transition defense. You may take the ball to the backboard without it being called a goaltend. That's exactly what he did. It bounced off the backboard. The clock reset, now down to 22 as New York takes it out.
Scott Williams, a very active player, and the coaches like his skills. The Knicks have hit 5 out of 9 from the field this fourth quarter. Contrast to the 1 of 5 by the Bulls. Mason posting up Williams. And Wilkins gets the new 24.
That's 3 straight big plays by Scott Williams. A defensive rebound, a block shot, and that time playing good interior defense.
Here's Starks, and he's hit. Took a hip check. Although it is Scott Williams who hit the floor. Timeout taken. 6:59 left in the fourth. Well, a moment ago, Coach Red Holzman, Walt Clyde Frazier, one of the greats of the NBA, is on hand, a member of the Madison Square Garden Radio Network crew, and there is Dave DeBusschere, a member of both Knicks championship squads. The Knicks with a 77-72 lead. 6:50 remaining in this fourth quarter. Patrick Ewing has returned, as has Bill Cartwright. Anthony for Starks. 5 on the 24. Here's Ewing from way out. Yes! Ewing off the bench to hit.
2 seconds left on the 24-second clock. Off the bench, you say, well, he's been sitting for so long, he's got to take time to warm up. Not now. There's not much time left in the playoffs. You got to win.
The Knicks 79, the Bulls 72. Cartwright is wide open. Yes. So Cartwright with his second field goal. Both he and Ewing playing with 4 fouls apiece. The Knicks 79 and the Bulls 74.
Chicago basically has been shooting around 55, 56% for the game. Now down around the 50% mark.
B.J. Armstrong able to get to it. Armstrong and Jordan at the guards. Grant, Pippen, and Cartwright on the front line. Now Starks matched with Pippen. Ewing does not want to pick up number 5. Shot clock to 4. Here's Pippen, fouled by Mason.
Just fresh off the bench, give him the ball about 20 feet away with the shot clock down at 4, 3, and at 2 it goes through, and he likes it.
You know, it's amazing how far Patrick Ewing has come with the jump shot. Certainly the shot selection could be criticized at points in the first half, but he was not getting the ball in good position. But that has to do with the play defensively of the Chicago Bulls. But when Patrick Ewing came to Georgetown, he was raw, only noted for his defensive play. People in the NBA did not expect him to be an offensive force. He worked so hard over the summer months that he has continually added to his game and has developed one of the better medium-range jump shots in the league.
When he came in the league, there were questions about how good a rebounder he would be. He didn't average a lot of rebounds at Georgetown, and very limited offensively, what people said. But people did not give credit to the fact that John Thompson worked defensively, kept the scores down in college, and did win an NCAA championship.
Greg Anthony, who has been very careful in terms of his shot selection tonight, coming off what took place yesterday. Able to hit from the baseline.
Careful about shot selection and careful about word selection.
The Knicks 81 and the Bulls 75. Just under 5 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Pippen. Rebounded by Ewing. Wilkins on the run. Wilkins. Yes. And it counts.
Perhaps a time for Jim Clemens to use up one of those timeouts. Don't let this Knicks team get on a run in their building with the crowd behind him. Ewing with the defensive rebounder from the floor. Starts the fast break. When you get it out quick and pitch ahead and you got runners and flyers like Wilkins and Starks, then you can convert and get some easy scores.
P.J. Armstrong called for the foul. 3-point play for Gerald Wilkins. He has 15 points. The Knicks lead 84-75. It represents their biggest lead of the night. Yes, and it counts, and Jordan is able to answer Wilkins.
Things to look for now to get the Chicago team back into the basketball game as Wilkins picks up his 5th personal foul. Jordan with the move, Patrick Ewing called for the foul that time, his 5th personal foul. Things to look for, clearing up the side of the floor for Jordan to go one-on-one, or Pippen, or ball live in the middle of the floor for the isolations.
3-point play for Michael Jordan. He has 29, the Knicks 84, the Bulls 78. Pressure by Chicago. They double up on Starks. He's in trouble, and Grant is able to deflect it. And John Starks motioning, saying, hey, I need some help back there.
Yeah, well, you're back there with Michael Jordan and Grant coming at you. One is, 6'6", and Jordan, Grant is 6'10", who covers so much ground. It's not easy.
Oh, prayer thrown by Mason. Not a smart play. And the Knicks get a break. Last touched by Chicago. I don't understand that inbounds toss.
Well, perhaps the feeling was that he had to get it up the floor because of the 10-second violation which would have taken place had it not been a long pass. Pat Riley telling your teammates, come and meet the ball.
And he fired it all the way down. It was a free-for-all. Just under 4 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. The Bulls down by 6. The Knicks have led by as many as 9 just a moment ago. That's their biggest lead of the game. Here's Ewing. Rebound, Wilkins.
Well, Gerald Wilkins knew that he had jumped, mistimed the jump, got up there too early, but his second jump was quick and got back in on the second shot attempt.
3:25 left in the fourth quarter. Jordan met by a double team, and Williams is clobbered. Scott Williams upset. A very hard foul handed out by the Knicks. And Williams understandably did not like it.
Well, Jordan, the great ability to elevate and find open teammates. And yes, as you said, a very hard foul.
Anthony Mason called for the foul. Anthony Mason has been known around the league to deal out hard blows, and that one not appreciated.
Yeah, and Dick Vivetta is talking to Anthony Mason, making sure he understands that probably another one like that, and they will not only shoot 2 free throws, but I'm going to give him the ball back out of bounds on the side.
Scott Williams only a 65% free throw shooter. The Bulls 14 of 25 at the line. That has hurt them.
First 2 games, they shot just over 60% for the foul line, and then 59 for the foul line in games 1 and 2.
Scottie Pippen lost his balance, leading to the collision and his 4th personal foul.
Anticipating that he can get the flick over to a teammate and take off for a quick score, but the little delay just there, the hesitation by Wilkins forced the body contact.
Fair pass, and here's Armstrong. Oh, big break and a foul. An enormous play for the Chicago Bulls. Foul committed by Greg Anthony.
Don't compound the mistake. The first problem was the pass inbounds. Too long, BJ gets to it first. Now, if you can't get in front and establish position, concede the 2. Don't give him the 3.
BJ Armstrong, an 81% free throw shooter.
You either foul him before he gets to the area where he can attempt a layup, or you get away from it. Don't give him 3 and let him get into the press again.
And here is the Chicago pressure that has bothered the Knicks throughout the series. Just under 3 minutes remaining, fourth quarter. The Knicks 86 and the Bulls 82.
There's a time for Mark Jackson, the guy who feeds Patrick Ewing best, the guy who has the experience in these key situations, more under control, less likely to turn it over.
Ewing with a fadeaway off balance. And the Knicks lead 88-82.
Plus, the Greg Anthony is hobbling with that bad ankle right now, so it's not like he's going to be a factor defensively.
Good defense by Wilkins. Scott Williams able to get it right back. Scott Williams not able to hit. Patrick Ewing on the rebound. Here's Starks, and let's see what they call it. Well, Pippen, according to the official Bill Oates, committed the foul in the backcourt. It is number 5 on Pippen. Timeout called. We'll be right back.
A few moments back, you might have been wondering why there was a Hail Mary pass by Mason. The clock is at 16. If it gets to 14, that's a 10-second violation. The defensive players were up too close. They would have had to bust back with no time to dribble it over. So the decision, throw it long, hope for the best, and avoid the 10-second violation in the backcourt. That's what they did. The Knicks caught a break.
Let's go to Ahmad.
All right, Marv, during that last time out, Jim Clemens very much in control. Everything he told the Bulls that they were getting hurt on the offensive rebounds. But one of the things that he has nothing to do and no control over, and that is of Patrick Ewing. He said Patrick Ewing is just killing him.
Yes, that is a keen observation on the part of Jim. Patrick Ewing holding the right hip. Patrick Ewing has suddenly located the touch, although overall he's only 5 of 16. 2:14 remaining. And this fourth quarter starts to the line because that foul put the Bulls over the limit. And the Knicks now lead by 8.
Both teams will be shooting bonus free throws. The Knicks extending their defense, trying to use up more time, run that game clock down in the 24-second clock.
A double team on Jordan, so he gets it back out. Pippen for 3. Rebounded by Ewing. Starks able to save that high pass. Now the Knicks spread the floor. And hear it from the crowd. A minute 35 remaining in the fourth. Knicks seeking to tie the series at 2. Bad return pass from Ewing. And the foul called on Anthony. Very sloppy passing by the Knicks here in the final minutes.
You want to protect the basketball, eliminate the turnovers, give yourselves a chance to get a shot up on the glass, and then the last thing you need is to stop the clock and allow Chicago to put points on the board. Now, a concern for New York has to be that Chicago doesn't start fouling people intentionally and make them go to the free throw line. You had Anthony out on the floor who struggled a little bit from the free throw line, Starks who struggled a little bit, so they may go to their pressure, foul immediately, get them back on the line to see if they miss some free throws.
A.J. Armstrong, on the other hand, a solid foul shooter, 2 of 2 from the line tonight. You see the Bulls have had their problems. The Knicks have 3 timeouts remaining. Chicago with 3 and a 20. Minute and a half remaining in the fourth. The Knicks lead it 90-84. Here's the pressure by the Bulls. They have rattled the Knicks. Mason handles. Walks into a double team. Jordan got a piece of it. Starks for Mason. Blocked by Grant.
Good job of coming to the basketball that time by Mason. Shorten the pass, eliminate turnovers and steals.
Starks passing on the 3. Shot clock at 7. Just under 1 minute to go in the fourth, and a foul has been called. Grant involved with Ewing, and Grant picks up number 4, so that will send Ewing to the line.
What the Knicks did by coming up with the second shot opportunity, by spreading the floor, passing and moving the basketball, they ran off another 18 seconds off the game clock with a new reset of the 24-second clock before the foul took place.
Now, during the course of the season, Patrick Ewing has had his difficulties at the line down the stretch. For the day, he's 4 of 7 from the foul line. The Knicks 91, the Bulls 84, and Chicago calls for time. This capacity crowd of 19,000 plus reacting to a Knicks team that leads the defending NBA champion Chicago Bulls by 7 with 56 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. The Knicks looking to tie the series at 2, Game 5 in Chicago Tuesday night. The Bulls hoping to extend to a 3-1 lead. The Bulls have won the last 7 straight against the Knicks here at the Garden. The last Knicks victory over Chicago in New York, January 15th, 1990. That's a 3-point attempt by Armstrong. Pippen with the save. Craig Hodges has come on. Jordan tries the 3, and it will be Nick Ball. Down to 37 seconds remaining in the fourth. Now Jim Clemens with an offensive-defensive shuffle. Scott Williams replacing Craig Hodges. John Starks allowed to penetrate to the front court. And then is tied up by Scott Williams.
Well, when you're down 7 points with 33 seconds remaining, you can't let the Knicks come down and run 24 seconds off. You have to foul as quickly as possible, put them on the free throw line, hope they miss free throws.
29 and 4/10 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. Starks, who can lead, will go against Williams. Scott Williams easily controlled the tip.
Chicago obviously needs quick shots. They have 4 3-point shooters out there.
Michael Jordan tried the 3. Anthony Mason to the ball and foul. Anthony Mason with his 10th rebound. Once again, he's come off the bench to do a very effective job in the rebounding department.
Why are the Knicks fans reacting this way? Who thought that on May 10th, this New York Knicks team would be where they are, into the second round of the playoffs, and if they hang on and win this basketball game this evening, even at 2-2 with the defending world champions.
Anthony Mason is not a good free throw shooter at 64% for the season. Well, New York has fallen in love with this Knicks team that Pat Riley has had scrapping and playing hard right throughout the season. They sputtered in the final weeks. The Boston Celtics, who came on strong, were able to beat them out for the Atlantic Division title. Here's Grant for three. But the Knicks turning it around in the playoffs as they defeated the Pistons in 5, and they are about to tie the Chicago Bulls at 2 games apiece. The Bulls have missed their last 7 field goal attempts. So Greg Anthony will go to the line. He's 0 for 2 at the line. The Knicks led by Xavier McDaniel, who put on a spurt in the 4th quarter that propelled this club. McDaniel with 24. Gerald Wilkins with a strong game, 17 points. Patrick Ewing with only 15, did not shoot well. The Knicks have destroyed the Bulls off the boards. John Starks with 16. Michael Jordan, who hurt his ankle early 3rd quarter, finishes with 29. Will it count? Scottie Pippen hitting, and the indication is yes, the basket counts. So the final score, the Knicks 93 and the Bulls 86. Let's go to Ahmad Rashad.
All right, Marv. Patrick, a lot of people thought you guys were coming here and get blown out today the way you played yesterday, but a much better focus today.
Yeah, we came out with a lot more intensity. We did the things that we needed to do. We rebounded the ball, and in every layup they got, we contested them, and that's what we need to do to win.
All right, good luck to you the rest of the way, Patrick.
Thank you.
All right, Marv.
So the Knicks have tied the series at 2 apiece. They will meet in Game 5 in Chicago on Tuesday night. We'll be back in a moment. Back at Madison Square Garden, Game 4 of this best-of-7 Eastern Conference semifinal series to the New York Knicks, who continue to surprise. The final score, the Knicks 93, the Bulls 86. Coming up next on most of these NBC stations, Saturday Night Live. All the best for Mother's Day, a special 2-hour prime-time celebration. For Mike Fratello, Ahmad Rashad, I'm Marv Albert. This has been a presentation of the NBA on NBC.